in the great state of California, and it sounds like we could have professional sports back in California by the first week of June. So that's a far cry from what we were talking
Wow.
about probably about a week ago, wasn't it?
That is something to look forward to. It seems we have turned somewhat of a corner.
Yeah, they freaked everyone out saying, well, I forget who it was. I don't know if it was the mayor of Los Angeles or the governor. Someone said, well, we might not have any professional sports until 2021. It's like, what? And now it's like a
Yep,
week or
and
two
now
away.
it is. So here we go. So thank God something.
It is something, and we'll take it. What does that mean for the NBA or let's say Major League Baseball or NHL for that matter, because those are the seasons that are being impacted at this moment right now. The NFL is still kind of, waiting in the wings. They still have a little bit of time, despite like mini camps and OTAs and that kind of stuff that they would do in the off season. But those other leagues, I mean, they gotta make the call now. They gotta do something. And now if California is going to reopen, then maybe there's a shot. Could let's say the Dodgers and Angels play at home? Could the Lakers be at home? Maybe with modifications, of course, no fans and screening temperatures and wearing masks, and the list goes on. But at least we're going in that direction now.
I think they're going to be able to do it with no fans because then from there, if things get better, then they can kind of start introducing fans if they want to. I feel like they can open it up from there, but start with no fans, and I think they can get it moving.
I mean, the biggest thing for them is going to be to figure out the policy of what happens when a player tests positive. Does the whole team have to sit? Does that player have to sit? What's the duration of the sitting?
Now, you guys know that the NBA and the NBA owners, they talked about that. They're like, okay, let's say we get it all going. What happens? Do we agree that if somebody does test positive, that we isolate that person and we don't go into let's shut everything down mode? And I think they all agreed to that.
Yeah, and you have to. And I applaud UFC. Remember UFC, not this weekend, but the weekend before, they had a positive test from one of their fighters. And they said that, hey, the
Right.
show's going on. We took all the safety precautions. This is why we built it this way, that if somebody tested positive, the whole thing doesn't have to stop. Like, we can still move forward. And I think UFC laid a lot of that groundwork on how to do it. Now, obviously, that's like a solo sport, like fighter versus fighter, instead of a
Right.
team sport. But still, I mean, there's ways to do it.
I mean, the big thing that they're saying is, too, is, UFC, you're talking maybe a card of 10 fights, 20 fighters max.
Yeah.
You're talking a single football team has upwards of 53 people on an active roster, a bunch of other people behind the scenes. And, I mean, if you just look at the way the country is right now, there's people that are dying to get back to work and people that are like, no, it's way too soon. You have all those same personalities within athletes, too. So,
Oh.
it's like, if you have these athletes who don't want to play, do you then bring in scab players?
No, you're right. There seems to be going a battle on inside every workplace on top of the battle that's going on outside the workplace. Everybody has their wildly differing opinions too. They don't even believe that anything's out there. And the other believes that, we're going to drop dead if we see it.
Yeah. and that's true. Like, can you imagine, not that I'm just saying, say like LeBron James, but like, I know he wants to play. He's gone on publicly and said, I want to play. I want to finish out the season. But can you imagine if some big name player like LeBron
But like
James
Trout,
said, yeah, I
Trout
don't
has
know.
been giving minutes,
You guys go ahead and start without me.
Yeah.
I guess it could happen. We'll have to see as these leagues roll out their new, restarts and their policies and, what the protocol is going to look like. Which, speaking of protocol, like Major League Baseball revealed what their protocol could look like. And it's 67 pages. And basically,
Wow.
it says, like, no showering, no hugging, no spitting, no
Right.
sunflower seeds, none of this, none of that, no high fives.
That's going to be the real interesting stuff is how these leagues handle the procedures. That's the stuff I'm really interested to see how they do this.
Could it be the end of chewing tobacco in baseball? No more George Brett and the huge pocket of tobacco in his mouth?
Yeah, just like a huge wad in there, they roll it up with the bubble gum. And I don't know, man, because, like, no spitting? Like, how do you have a baseball game with no spitting? Like,
No spitting from Haywood in Major League as he crushes it towards South America?
yes. So I don't know. Each league will have to come up with their own these protocol, this policy that they'll have to implement to make everybody safe. Not only just the players on the field, but 40, you brought it up. The whole staff behind the scenes, man. There's a ton of people behind the scenes making this happen as well.
I feel like each league is kind of tiptoeing, waiting for another league to go first, and that way they can work out the bugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you could be right. You could be exactly right, and it might have to be like I would say the NBA or maybe the NHL only because there's more pressure on them to hurry and get their current season done because their next
They
season
need to
is right around
finish.
the
Yeah,
corner.
exactly.
It's true.
So we'll talk more NBA. We got some NASCAR news as well. It's all brought to you by Matheson Gas. They are the gas professionals. 3 locations across the Inland Empire. Fontana, Riverside, Rancho Cucamonga. Go online and visit the website. That is mathesongas.com. If you are a business in the Inland Empire, you require gas to operate. A lot of breweries and restaurants and hospitals, a lot of different places use gas. And you can go to Matheson Gas, and they're willing to hook it up for you. But check out online first their services, check out what they offer, and then give them a call at one of those 3 locations. That's mathesongas.com online for all of your gas needs. Now, I did want to bring up, before we jumped into the NBA, I did want to bring this up because I think this came out yesterday evening that the NCAA has said that June 1st could be the first day that college athletes could start working out. I think they call it voluntarily, but you could go back to campus and start working out. So if you're a college football fan, that is great news.
Even the Pac-12. Now, I think we all kind of know that the SEC is kind of chomping at the bit, and most of the people down there feel, let's fire this bad boy up because they want to party. I get it.
Right.
When we thought maybe California was going to hold back, but I think Pac-12, they want to be ready too in case this thing does kick into gear. I'm just getting the sneaking suspicion that these guys feel like this thing's going to kick into gear by the end of the year.
Yeah, I think so. And it's funny you bring up the SEC because, yeah, when speaking at least for football, they were already saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have a season, even if we just have to play each other down here in the South. We are going to play." In fact, there was that rumor floating around that Alabama, who's playing USC in football, was like, "Okay, well if USC's not going to play, we'll just go find somebody else. No big deal."
They're looking for an alternate, an actual alternate in the college football schedule could happen.
And it could, but at least this is good news for everybody. Maybe we don't have to find alternates. Maybe we will have something close to a football season. And I forget, one of the big-time universities, it might have been Ohio State University, said they could imagine a college football game in Columbus, the home of the Buckeyes, with maybe like 20,000, 30,000
Spread out.
fans.
Wow.
Not a whole stadium, but like, social distancing, right? So about
That's
20,000.
a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
Dude, I bet you it happens.
I'm positive it's going to happen. The thing is, we live in this great country where we have the freedom to say, "Well, I don't want to go to the game. I don't want to go to the stadium." No one's making you go to the stadium. If you want to stay home and watch it on TV, great. But if you want to go down there, I think we're going to have that opportunity if you want to go down there. But if you want to stay home, you can do that too.
I think so.
No one's going to make you go. Speaking of NBA, the Lakers and Clippers are both, I guess you could say, practicing, but not as a team. The facilities are now open for both teams.
Right.
As the NBA, I'm surprised they haven't said something yet. Maybe they're waiting for California. I'm not sure. But they need to kind of publicly say what their plan is going to be. Because if you guys think about it, the first week of June is normally when you have the NBA Finals. This is like the end of the season right now.
I think part of the problem is, and I hate to criticize California, but they're so wishy-washy and all over the place, and all kinds of different rules all over the damn place. I think they're actually waiting until they make a concrete thing before they make a decision, because I think they feel like if they make a decision now, it's based on a bunch of rules that may not be in place in like a week from now.
Well, like I said, like 2 weeks ago, they were saying, "Oh yeah, probably no pro sports in this state until 2021."
Now let's open this sucker
what?
up. That's a wildly different message in a week.
Yeah, and then this week they're like,
I
"Oh
don't
yeah,
think
like in
we're
about
gonna
a week and a half, we'll have pro sports." I'm like, what?
I think they're like, yep, just creak open the door. They just want to get their foot in the door, and no crowd is the foot in the door.
Hey guys, and finally we had another NASCAR Cup race last night at the Lady in Black at Darlington. Congratulations going out to Denny Hamlin. Kevin Harvick finished third, so he is still your Cup points leader on the season if you're keeping track at home. It was getting rain down in the south, down there in South Carolina, but now they moved to Charlotte this weekend for the Coca-Cola 600, another Cup race coming up on Sunday as well. But Patrick, your favorite part of the race was the guy flipping the other racer off.
My 9-year-old is watching, and he's watching his favorite Kyle Busch battle it out with Chase Elliott up there in the front. And all of a sudden, I mean, it looked like to me, Kyle Busch says he made a mistake, but it looked like he just took Chase Elliott out going down the straightaway, gave him the pit maneuver hard, and then acted like he made a mistake. So, of course, Chase Elliott gets out of his car, and, I mean, it looks like he's going to run out onto the – it's like, oh, dude, I don't want to see anything ugly here, and just gives him a huge bird right on the middle, live TV. My 9-year-old's like, whoa, what's that?
You know, call me old-fashioned, but NASCAR's not back until one of the drivers flips somebody off. So it's back. NASCAR is back.
Man, how about NASCAR like squeezing everything together going to Wednesday night?
Dude, it was awesome.
Yeah, and they have it. I think they call it the Infinity Series, kind of like the old Busch Series. I think they're running today at Darlington because their race got rained out. But yeah, the next Cup Series race would be this weekend in Charlotte. They're going to have 7 races in 10 days. I mean, but they're all close, right? North Carolina, South Carolina. They're going to be in Bristol, which is Tennessee. Like, they're keeping that little pocket of the world down there to make this happen.
It works like a champ on TV. Pep, tell me how to get your stuff.
Hey, go on to Inland Sports right now, all over social media. We got an exclusive interview with Matt Mitchell, the pride of Roosevelt High School. He was a star at San Diego State in basketball, getting ready for the NBA draft. That's on Inland Sports right now. You can check it out on our YouTube channel.
Thanks, Pep.